This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This season, let your shoes do the talking. Designer Shoe Warehouse is packed with fresh styles that speak to your whole vibe without saying a word. From cool sneakers that look good with everything, to easy sandals you'll want to wear on repeat, DSW has you covered. Find a shoe for every you from the brands you love, like Birkenstock, Nike, Adidas, New Balance, and more. Head to your DSW store or visit DSW.com today.
Catch the new Hulu original comedy Mid-Century Modern from the creators of Will and Grace, executive producer Ryan Murphy, and director James Burrows. When three best friends move in together, Palm Springs will never be the same. They're fun, they're fabulous, and they're turning life's lemons into spiked lemonade. Shake up a batch of cocktails, relax by the pool, and get ready for some serious shade. Mid-Century Modern stars Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer, Nathan Lee Graham, and Linda Lavin. All episodes of Mid-Century Modern are now streaming on Hulu.
News to Nord, 9 to noon, is brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. And Sips at Chips, feeling the felt all year round. Live racing kicking off later next month. It's your place. It's your best spot in Shakopee for family fun, gambling fun, all the fun at Canterbury. Not all the fun for the Minnesota Twins, admittedly, in a busy weekend. I didn't watch any of the games as they were swept by the Atlanta Braves in Georgia. Yeah, 6-4, 4-3, a tough one yesterday, 6-2. They're on the chill today at 7-15, fourth place in the division. They are hosting the Chicago White Sox, 6:40 p.m. affair tomorrow at Target Field. You're hoping Bailey Ober can find a W, followed by Mr. Festa on Wednesday. Festival for Festa, Chris Paddock on Thursday. Find things going right for a team that is nicked up right now and just not scoring runs when they need to, the Minnesota Twins. Now to the NBA. The Minnesota Timberwolves, it's game 2 tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We've talked a ton about it today, and we're going to continue to talk about it because we love it. But they were not the only teams that were playing over the weekend. And I posed this to you, PA. The NBA playoffs, as they've unfolded, you got the Celtics doing their thing. You have, Knicks in Detroit was actually a pretty competitive game until Cameron Payne got annoyed and scored like 9 straight points. And the Knicks went like 21 straight in the fourth quarter to pull away from the Pistons. I know that Jokic and the Nuggets went to OT and were victorious over Harden's Clippers. Every other game in the postseason thus far has been lopsided. Donovan Mitchell, hey, I want to see Spida show up in the playoffs for the top-seeded Cavs. He scores 30.
They look good.
How about the Boston Celtics? Now they got Tatum kind of got beaten up a little bit yesterday. There was actually Joe Mazzulla, head coach of the Celtics, he was both getting praise and getting a little guff. Hard foul on Tatum. They're up big. And he's on the ground. He's writhing in pain. Mazzulla is screaming across the court. He learned his lesson from the time against the Wolves. He did not run all the way across the court, but he was screaming at Tatum, get up.
Yeah.
He was yelling at his play, just get up.
Yeah.
Get off the court.
I thought it was a bad foul call on Contavious Caldwell-Pope.
And so, but that was a lopsided victory there as well.
Yep.
Early stages, very one-sided affairs in the NBA postseason, but thus far as well, I would say the final results have kind of gone according to plan.
The Timberwolves, if you're putting together power rankings for first wins in a first round, the Timberwolves would have been one with a bullet until the Oklahoma City Thunder decided to do to Memphis what they did and win a game by 50 million points. I mean, there were some aberrations with some of these scores in the first round, but some teams need that feeling out process, and we'll see if they can turn that frown upside down in game 2.
Well, that's where I went. I went with it with you, and maybe you see it differently, but this was something that was hit on earlier in the season. I think you even asked Finch about it. And I don't know if this is a not in my backyard, old man, boomer idea of the kids these days, but it kind of was framed around the idea that some of these players now in the NBA, when things are smooth, when the waters are calm and everything's pushing forward, the way you were talking about Luka is actually maybe an example of this. When everything's going smoothly, these kids can ball. They're the greatest athletes, it feels like, maybe in professional sports. They're cut out of stone. They're super fast, can jump out of gyms and hit shots from 90 feet with their eyes closed. With all of that said, when they face resistance, specifically earlier in games and maybe the second quarter, when you get that last stretch before the half, and with most teams, that means 6-7 minutes left. The starters are coming back on.
Yep.
And you kind of get run out to end the half. A lot of these teams, whether it's Trae Young, it's Luka, when the shots aren't falling and maybe he's getting bounced around a little bit, these guys take their balls and go home. And I wonder how much that plays into specifically, man, Memphis, are you kidding? Houston last night, all those kids had like 41 points with 5 minutes left in the third.
Yeah.
What an awful, hideous game that was.
Yeah.
They tried to beat the heck out of Steph. Guess what? Steph's title town raised.
Right.
He adjusts his game to work through the physicality, and the route was on for the Dubs.
Right.
So there's almost like I'm feeling like some of that immaturity, some of that I'm bored with this, we'll try again tomorrow feel that you get in mid-January might be peeking its head out in late April.
The worst ones took place in the worst conference. I mean, outside of OKC, Memphis. I mean, Oklahoma City's favored to win the NBA championship, and that thing was such an aberration that there ain't nobody in the world who thinks anybody is 50 points better than anybody at this stage of the season. The Clippers and Nuggets, all right? I mean, those are both veteran-laden squads.
Yes.
Requiring or reliant upon adults to handle certain situations. You formulated a very, very good point on Friday, and I thought about it a fair amount that night. Miami was able to beat Atlanta in that play-in game, but Trae Young was a different guy. I mean, he whether it's mama got into him, coach got into him, friend, somebody got into him. It's like, bro, chill, come on, man. The keeping your ball and going home trick. Well, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Trae was the bomb on Friday night and almost elevated his team to victory. But see, not everybody has the physical capability of doing that when they're faced with friction. So if you like Orlando and Boston, all right? Banchero, it's the first time in a long time I've really gone out of my way to watch him.
Yeah.
He's spectacular. I mean, he's not good. He's spectacular.
And he's a one-man operation right now.
And I don't know how old he is, but he's young. You know, and so I'm watching, like, Orlando is throwing every possible haymaker it can at Boston and keeping this thing close. But specifically in the Eastern Conference, there just comes a time where the immortality is like, come on, man. I mean, Anthony Black, Cole Anthony, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, or the skeletal remains, they're up from the corner. We ain't worried about this. Franz Wagner will beat us on 2 big man off the dribble plays, but he's going to kick it off his leg the next 5. Let's just let them be who they are. And Boston dialed up the defense. Well, the game was over. I mean, it's when the high enders opt to dial up things, specifically in the Eastern Conference. Yeah, these kids, man. I don't know if it gets into a generational thing or just a dramatic flip or distance in talent between 2 of these teams.
I don't know how much of the NHL playoffs that you have watched. We covered it heavy with Pat Mick, 2-6-2-6. Wild lose, 4-2. Technically, it was 3-2 until that last second empty netter led to people going, no, or yes, at the buzzer. That's the beauty of the 7-0-2.
Crazy.
But tonight, I mean, cool series underway. The Stars can't win to save their lives anymore. It looks like trouble. And I think Robertson, among their big timers, is out for a while. So huge loss for them.
Yep.
They're in trouble. They go tonight. It's game 2 in Colorado at Ball Arena against the Avs.
I think it's in Dallas.
I believe it's at Colorado.
Okay,
but
could be wrong.
No, you're probably right. I'm looking at a bracket, so
Dallas was the higher seed.
Then you're absolutely right. So it's in Dallas, But you got Kings and Oilers tonight, game 1.
Nice.
You got Caps and OV and the Canadiens.
Yep.
You have that tonight, game 1. And it's just going to be, and also Jets Blues. Winnipeg was down 3-2, I think, or
wow.
I believe at one point it was 3-2.
Wow.
Blues in the lead. Winnipeg just bounced out of that thing with 2 or 3 unanswered and found their way to victory. Game 2 there is tonight.
Hockey Sharps liked the Blues in that series at plus whatever.
That's a team that's struggling to win right now, too, whether it's Dallas, maybe it's injuries and all of that, but specifically with the Blues, no high-end injuries that I'm aware of, but that's a team that maybe it's part of grinding so hard when they went on that 12 or 13-game win streak.
Yep.
Gophers get bounced. They get Snuggie. He's immediately being a contributor in St. Louis, but maybe they've fallen off a bit since then. But they're going to struggle with Winnipeg. Winnipeg looked good down the stretch of that game. But the NHL playoffs, we have to wait. There's still a game 1 tomorrow. We'll be playing game 2 against Vegas tomorrow night. The Lightning and Panthers will be playing game 1 tomorrow night. So looking forward to all of that. 10 p.m. puck drop, which means you can basically watch all of these games, then take a nap, put some coffee on, and see the Wild in Vegas tomorrow night.
Chris Finch joins 9 to noon weekly. We chatted with him earlier, and there's a montage tied to it, too. We're going to play that back for you and get his thoughts, if you missed it earlier, on the Wolves' decisive Game 1 victory out Los Angeles way. So stay tuned for that. We think you'll like it, and we know you like money, so Nardo has that cash thing.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. The keyword is check. You might get a $1,000 check with the keyword check at KFAN.com.
Catch the new Hulu original comedy, Mid-Century Modern, from the creators of Will and Grace, executive producer Ryan Murphy, and director James Burrows. When 3 best friends move in together, Palm Springs will never be the same. Bunny, Jerry, and Arthur are already close friends. But when they decide to live together, it's a new chapter with a new family. And speaking of family, don't forget Bunny's mom, Sybil, who's along for the ride. Whether it's a trip to Fire Island or a local congresswoman with a wild side, these roomies know how to do it with style. They're fun, they're fabulous, and they're turning life's lemons into spiked lemonade. So shake up a batch of cocktails, relax by the pool, and get ready for some serious shade. A new comedy with heart, soul, and sass. Mid-Century Modern stars Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer, Nathan Lee Graham, and Linda Lavin. All episodes of Mid-Century Modern are now streaming on Hulu.
Waiting for the best deals? Spring Black Friday savings are here. Shop early access now at Blinds.com and save big on new custom window treatments. At Blinds.com, shopping online for custom window treatments doesn't mean sacrificing on service, selection, or style. As the #1 online retailer of custom window treatments, Blinds.com has hundreds of options to fit any decor and budget. Choose from stylish roller or bamboo shades, blackout options, and more. We even have motorized shades for your patio, DIY, or let our experts handle the heavy lifting. Blinds.com has you covered with free virtual consultations. We'll even send a pro to do the measure and install. Try before you buy with free samples delivered to your door. With over 25 million windows covered, every order's backed with Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop Blinds.com's Spring Black Friday Early Access now for up to 40% off with minimum purchase, plus a free measure. Save up to 40% at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Fan.
Chris Finch, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, nice enough to get up super early for 9 to noon to start the radio show. And after getting game number 1, we praised the Timberwolves, gave them some covenant claps, and began with, now it's time to get greedy. Because stealing 1 on the road is cool, but if you can get greedy and take 2, that'd be fine, Fettle.
Good morning. How you doing, TA?
Pretty good, bud.
Yeah, no doubt. We've been through this last season. We were able to get game 1 in Denver, and guys came out super focused, locked in, and had one of our best performances of the playoffs last year in game 2 on the road in Denver. But we know it's going to be extremely tough. We expect a lot more physicality from the Lakers, and they're going to play super desperate and should be a good game.
How, Chris, how on point is the engagement factor with your guys right now. I mean, it's that authentic joy that we've talked about and specifically talked about weeks ago.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about the playoffs is that you are locked in to the game plan. You got everyone's attention. Focus is extremely high. Execution is high. And these are the things that make a really fun playing and coaching environment. And, it's not to say these things don't happen throughout the regular season, but the level is just, it's elevated for sure. That's why we all look forward to this time of the year so much.
For you guys, the transition threes and the threes you hit off offensive rebounds, I mean, that creates potent, organized chaos, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we know those are things that we really stressed in the middle of the season, that we had to kind of find in our identity to add to who we thought we needed to be as a team. We were losing the possession battle every night. I've talked about this many times. We just weren't playing fast enough. We weren't getting to the offensive glass enough. And we got guys who were really good at both when we set our minds to do it. And, the embodiment of that is Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels has gotten out in transition a bunch, gotten to the offensive glass a lot. And it's no coincidence that his season took a massive step forward when he started doing those things, as well as other things that he was able to do, in the half court. But I think you're going to see all kinds of different series in the playoffs, but the game, quote unquote, always slows down in the playoffs. But I don't really believe that has to be the case, and we've seen that. It's going to be really hard to get baskets with the physicality that they're going to be allowing in these playoffs. So you've got to get them in other means and measures. So transition and second chance opportunities are the most obvious ones.
The Timberwolves dusted the LA Lakers Saturday night in Los Angeles, taking a 1-0 lead in this first round series. Game 2 on KFAN tomorrow night. That takes place at 9 o'clock Central. And Chris's Inclusion Weekly is provided by Second Harvest Heartland, 2harvest.org, and Prize Picks. Now, from the second quarter to about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, you guys outscored them by like 34 points. Now, that's when the Lakers clearly got mad and they got hot and they made a move. So what did you see in Los Angeles then, Chris, that you can preach to your team, see, guys, this is what they can do?
Yeah, I mean, they upped their physicality and ball pressure for sure. The game got a little bit chippy. They started, Austin Reeves started to find some rhythm there. As a result of, some just more aggressive play by him. We expect that to be the case in game 2. Their activity level kind of increased a bit. But, yeah, I mean, listen, we know we're going to face a wholly different animal tomorrow night, and we're going to have to be ready. But I felt we left some meat on the bone there, too. I thought there's some things surrounding the game plan we could do a little bit better, some things that we thought we needed to do, but we didn't. So it's just what it's all about. Game 2 is we'll see what adjustments each team makes and how they work. With
that, this is the second or third time that I've heard you talk about meat being left on the bone, and there are no hitters. So nevertheless, you won the game, you beat them rather soundly, and everybody has to be happy in the Covenant, at least for now. But with what you can share, what are some things on which you guys can improve into tomorrow night?
Well, certainly our defense around Luka. He had a big night, and I think every time we made a mistake around our coverages around Luka, he made us pay for it. And so we got to be a little bit better there and try to, impact him more, make life harder for him. That's one thing. I thought, we struggled at times to, rebound the ball cleanly. And, we fouled just way too much. So.
Chris Finch, coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, 9 to noon. Good morning on this beautiful Monday. Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels, man. If Naz and Jaden consistently play like that, you're going to be a tough beat. What did you specifically like about them?
No, they're aggressive. I mean, there was zero lag time in deciding what they were going to do when they got the ball. I also like Jaden's activity on the glass. Of course, their defense I thought was really on point, but they were locked in. They knew they were going to get some clean looks. They did. They stayed confident. They knocked them down. Neither of them had been shooting their best coming into the series, but they put the work in through the week to get their shot back and ready where they needed it to be.
How about Julius Randle? Going right at LeBron over and over and over. I mean, it's Chris, it's that powerhouse running game you and I have talked about with basketball, right?
Yeah. I mean, we love our physical nature. I mean, Julius is one of the more physical players in the league, and he's oftentimes we talk about physicality in basketball, you talk about defense, but he's a very physical offensive player. He's going to hit you. He's going to force you to guard him. He's going to come at you time and again. He's going to wear you down. And, he's a handful. And I thought he did a great job of setting the tone, both offensively and defensively. We expect a way more aggressive LeBron in game 2. There's no doubt about that. And, but I thought Julius, did a heck of a job just like setting the tone right there.
Chris, back to the original thought when we started about tomorrow night, and you've heard it a million times, man. Steal one on the road, postseason, steal one on the road, as if that's good enough. So do you and the staff implore to them Saturday was not an aberration, do it again, it's right there in front of you?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I mean, listen, it is great to get a win on the road and, steal home court advantage, quote unquote. But, this team, the Lakers are good enough to win on your floor. It's not, and this is how it goes. Like if a team's good enough to win on your floor, then, if you get a chance to hold home court advantage. But at the end of the day, if they're good enough to win on your floor, then, the series keeps moving along and you just got to get the wins no matter how and where. I mean, look at our series last year against Denver was kind of crazy. We win 2 on the road. They win 2 at our place. And then they go back and win at their place. We come back and win at our place. And then we win game 7 at their place. Like, it doesn't always add up,
Right.
But getting the first one is huge. And, it does give us the upper hand for the moment, but we got to take advantage of that now.
The common refrain from the Los Angeles Lakers post game was that your team was the more active and physical team. So is it from your experience, vast experience coaching, is it easier to change scheme and personnel or dramatically increase effort levels and physicality?
I think it's easier to probably change effort levels and physicality. I think that's a high level controllable. Scheme, of course, you can always come up with new schemes. Whether they work or not, or whether you have the personnel to pull them off or not. At the level you need to be successful, those are sometimes variables that we can't always control. But you can control, the work that you're willing to put in.
Chris, I felt a major and underplayed bonus and advantage for you guys. Not only Saturday, but just during the season is everybody on your team except Rudy can handle the ball. And I'm not saying Rudy can't dribble, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Everybody can get you out of a jam, at any point of the court. How does that help specifically against Los Angeles?
Well, we've been lucky all season that, whenever we face pressure, we do have multiple options to bring the ball up. We have Mike Conley, one of the most pure classic point guards in the NBA over the last 20 years. Well, our system is not necessarily pure point guard based. as you've seen, we play a lot through Julius, allowing him to handle early. Anthony, Nikhil, Nas, even sometimes Dante, of course. So we have a lot of options there, and it allows us to kind of steer away from pressure if need be. And then, kind of get to certain matchups or mismatches maybe a little bit quicker, just because we have, primary ball handlers that can do that.
What, Chris Finch, just a few more here. He's in Los Angeles. Here we are in the cornfields at FM 100.3 KFAN. Wolves 1-0 against the Lakers, and game 2 is tomorrow at 9. What was halftime like? What was the room like for you guys after DiVincenzo hit that 30-footer right before halftime?
Yeah, it was all business. I walked into the halftime. Ant was talking to his teammates, about where he needed him to be based on the different coverages that he was seeing. Guys were super receptive. I mean, obviously, we had a really good second quarter, so momentum was high, confidence was high. But guys were grounded and they were talking business when I went in there.
When you and Anthony, or you and the staff and Anthony, have a chance to sit down, decompress, and go over a game plan, it seems like he really absorbs it well when he talks about things after games. Is he a visual kind of guy where, hey, here it is, look at it, and that's how it's going to go, or does he go quick twitch with just the way you teach it?
No, I mean, he has. I don't think he gets enough credit for his basketball IQ. He's a quick learner, and he's been able to stack these lessons on top of each other and be able to pull and reference from them. He's definitely a visual learner. Most people are nowadays. He studies a lot of film about his own performances, what's upcoming in the coverages and the defensive schemes he's probably going to see that night. And he's in the playoffs. Last year he did a great job, I thought, of setting the tone for us coming into the playoffs. We had struggled with a bunch of things that Phoenix had done to him specifically. He used the week to prepare accordingly. Got his teammates involved right away, which is, again, what you saw last Saturday night, and just not fighting the game, and that's like our term for when you're kind of making it harder than it has to be. And, everybody has a tendency to do that sometimes throughout the regular season, but it's in the playoffs, you really got to lean into what the defense is allowing you to do.
With Rudy's game, specifically the minutes he finished playing, is that situation specific? I mean, Nas caught fire, but for Rudy, what'd you think of his night?
Yeah, I thought his night was great. I mean, I thought was super active, which is what we needed. Particularly in that second half, got out and guarded well on the perimeter. I think he played maybe 6 minutes less than his normal run, but we were also up big, and we didn't feel the need to go back with them at any time.
Right.
We preached to our guys coming into the playoffs, coming into every series, it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe there's times where we use you more than others. Maybe there's a time that the series just isn't for you, or one game in that series isn't for you, and that's part of being a team. It's part of having depth. We all got to be able to accept that, embrace that as part of our strength.
What, Chris? What's on the docket today? Mid-50s and foggy there right now. What you going to do?
Yeah, yesterday was an off day. I mean, we've been going at it all hard, so win or lose, we had it as a scheduled off day. Guys can get away for a little quick breather, and we get a chance to practice. I mean, 3 days actually, I guess, 2 days in between each game, 3 days between games gives you a lot of time to prepare.
Right.
So we'll get back at it today in the film room on the floor, start making some adjustments and putting the game 2 game plan together.
And there's, I don't know how much you look at social media, but like there's a narrative out there. Well, of course, LeBron at his age is going to get that extra day at least a couple of times here. I look at it, like the NBA is going to craft a schedule like that, not even really thinking about who's in what building and why, when, and stuff like that. It, of course, has to be a conspiracy, where I actually look at it the other way, where, you guys get extra time too. And, when you've had good squads, man, and you've had time, you guys have proven to be a really tough out.
Well, yeah, listen, I try not to fall into any of these conspiracy theories either. Just like, take you down if you worry about them too much. I look at it as, I think ours is the marquee series, certainly in the West. All the big time TV slots wanted it. And they sit in a room and bid and pick and choose, and that's the day that that we that the days that the big slots are in, and we should relish being in that, and so we do.
Are you lastly any chance you'll take a game day walk by the beach tomorrow and go over the game plan?
Beach is a little further out. We're in Beverly Hills right now, but definitely. Good thing about my rehab is I'm back out walking around now and able to do normal things. So, yeah, definitely probably be a game day walk.
You're the very best. Thank you very much. Thanks for the early call. God bless you, and best of luck tomorrow night. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks, B.
Catch the new Hulu original comedy, Mid-Century Modern, from the creators of Will and Grace, executive producer Ryan Murphy, and director James Burrows. When 3 best friends move in together, Palm Springs will never be the same. Bunny, Jerry, and Arthur are already close friends. But when they decide to live together, it's a new chapter with a new family. And speaking of family, don't forget Bunny's mom, Sybil, who's along for the ride. Whether it's a trip to Fire Island or a local congresswoman with a wild side, these roomies know how to do it with style. They're fun, they're fabulous, and they're turning life's lemons into spiked lemonade. So shake up a batch of cocktails, relax by the pool, and get ready for some serious shade. A new comedy with heart, soul, and sass. Mid-Century Modern stars Nathan Lane, Matt Bomer, Nathan Lee Graham, and Linda Lavin. All episodes of Mid-Century Modern are now streaming on Hulu.
Hey, take care.
KFAN.
I can't wait until tomorrow, 'cause tomorrow might very well be too late.
Yep, you can't wait until tomorrow, a Talker Tuesday, 9 to noon, likewise for yours truly. And also with the Minnesota Vikings draft party taking place Thursday, show us your purple preset. That's continuing through Wednesday. Here's what you do. Take a screenshot of KFAN as a preset on your iHeartRadio app. Post said screenshot on your social media channels. Tag at KFAN1003 and use hashtag KFAN Purple Preset. Winners are going to be drawn daily. Speaking of the National Football League draft, this hot off the proverbial presses, we have draft party tickets to give away right now.
Yeah, we do. Whether it is the purple preset, do that, screen capture it, but you can also be caller number 11, 800-320-5326, 1-800-320-5326. I got a pair of draft party tickets to give away so that you can make sure you're there when the Vikings at pick 24 maybe pick Gray Zabel, but you're going to be in the crowd having fun and celebrating with us if you are caller 11 right here to 9 to noon now.
Caller 11, 800-320-5326. We have Timberwolves tickets to Game 3 to be given away Wednesday, 9 to noon. Well, here's the deal. It behooves you to listen to each and every second of the 9 to noon radio show, if only for the fact that we have stuff to give you at no charge. That includes tomorrow when we rise and shine at 9 with some NFL draft talk out of the gate. Then Kevin Gorg will join us from Las Vegas on the Wild Russo Radio later in the show. Dane Moore of the Dane Moore podcast joins tomorrow. Likewise for the scribe Ben Gessling. For Nordo, I'm Paul Allen. Thank you very much for the good times today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.